Unit 6, Gateway. Invasions of natural communities by non-indigenous species are currently rated as one of the most important global-scale environmental problems. The loss of biodiversity has generated concern over the consequences for ecosystem functioning, and thus understanding the relationship between both has become a major focus in ecological research during the last 2 decades. The biodiversity invisibility hypothesis by Elton suggests that high diversity increases the competitive environment of communities and makes them more difficult to invade. Numerous biodiversity experiments have been conducted since Elton's time, and several mechanisms have been proposed to explain the often observed negative relationship between diversity and invisibility. Beside the decreased chance of empty ecological niches, but the increased probability of competitors that prevent invasion success, diverse communities are assumed to use resources more completely and, therefore, limit the ability of invaders to establish. Further, more diverse communities are believed to be more stable because they use a broader range of niches than species-poor communities. Exercise 1. Aging is an economic challenge because unless retirement ages are drastically increased so that older members of society can continue to contribute to the workforce, an economic imperative that has many economic benefits, the working age population falls at the same time as the percentage of dependent elders increases. As the population ages and there are fewer young adults, purchases of big-ticket items, such as homes, furniture, cars, and appliances, decrease. In addition, fewer people are likely to take entrepreneurial risks because aging workers tend to preserve the assets they need to retire comfortably rather than set up new businesses. This is somewhat balanced by people retiring and drawing down their accumulated savings, which in total lowers savings and investment rates. Exercise 2. During the 1890s, Richard Henry was caretaker of Resolution Island in remote Fiordland on the west coast of New Zealand's South Island. A keen naturalist, he noted with concern the impact on native birds of the arrival of recently introduced stoats as they invaded this last corner of New Zealand. In a desperate attempt to protect populations of the flightless kakapo and little spotted kiwi between 1894 and 1900, he translocated hundreds of individuals from the mainland onto Resolution Island. Unfortunately, Resolution was too close to the mainland, and stoats invaded in 1900. Thus, Henry's efforts were in vain. Nevertheless, the technique of isolating species in danger on predator-free islands that may or may not have been occupied by the species in the past became a vital tool to prevent extinctions from predation by introduced predators in New Zealand. Exercise 3. Genes give us the foundation of our models. Experiences give us individual identities. Behaviors express our individual needs, desires, urges, attitudes, beliefs, and so on. In this way, all behaviors are purposeful. It is our job as supportive adults to find a constructive purpose. This does not mean that we should view violent behavior as resourceful. Rather, we can enlist the core of violent behavior as a positive resource. Example: violent behavior may exemplify an eagerness to take control, an ability to respond authoritatively, or a refusal to be victimized. Ask yourself in what context or situation the core of a particular behavior would signify value. For example, your refusal to be victimized will help you grow more tolerant with people as you mature. This comment orients the child toward a more fulfilling future, because it validates the child's worldview and enlists the core of the behavior as a positive resource. Exercise 4. Managing relationships is a value that represents how someone considers the interests and well-being of other people involved in a person's social world. When people provide food for others, share food with others, or receive food from others, They typically consider the needs, preferences, and feelings of those people related to what, how, when, and where food is eaten. Personal needs and preferences are often comprised to build, maintain, or repair relationships. Food is central to family harmony, and someone who adopts the role of the household food manager is typically very attentive to the preferences, dislikes, and patterns of eating of others. For example, newly married couples must negotiate ways to make joint food choices, and parent-child relationships contribute to constructing family food decisions. Being a host, guest, or coworker also shapes food choice situations, where roles and relationships are primary considerations in food choice. Unit 6. Gateway. Invasions of natural communities